Hey everyone, this is me, Undead Viking, and this is Outchasers. Outchasers is a fun little combat card game where each player is going to be taking on the role of a little dude or a little dudette in a big giant battle mech. I love games. I love the whole idea of giant mechs walking on a battlefield and shooting laser cannons at things. I love that idea. I realize that the reality of it is probably not very realistic. I played a lot of BattleTech and MechWarrior when I was in high school and in my early years of college, and I've always just really enjoyed that world or that idea of it, and I really dig like this cool little theme about this and taking that whole MechWarrior mentality and condensing it into a fun little combat battle game. I've been playing a lot of these basically because my daughter loves them and we enjoy it a great deal. So when I showed her this and I showed her how to play, she took to it very swimmingly, and I'll talk a little bit more about that in just a little bit. So let me show you how this game is played. It's pretty amazing. You get all the cards you need just right in this box, and it has lots and lots of replayability because of all the different options you have available to you. So alright, this is how we play Outchasers. Alright, so this is Outchasers. I'm going to show you how to play the game. Now, the game can be played in teams, so you can have 2 people on a team and play 4 players. I'm going to show you how to play 1 versus 1, which is how I've mostly played this game. Also, the game has rules for drafting your cards. Each person will have a deck of 24 cards that will represent the different weapons and armor that they'll be able to use to outfit their battle mech that they'll be using to attack the other player, and collect these cards here, which are like these little cores that you're trying to collect that can be a way to win. As I said in the introduction, you can win one of 2 ways. You can either collect the 5 cores, then you'll succeed that way, or you can destroy the other person's battle mech, and obviously then you'll be able to take those cores because they've been destroyed. But anyway, as I was saying, there are rules for drafting these cards. It does state that you should probably just play, shuffle up the deck, and deal out 24 cards to each person just to kind of get the feel for the game. I'm not going to show the drafting, as it were, at this point, but because of the fact that, like, basically, you really kind of have to play the game once or twice to kind of get a feel for the game and figure out, what types of weapons and armor work best with different mechs or different pilots of the mechs and what have you. So I'm not going to go into that during this gameplay portion of the video. So just keep that in mind. All right, so at the beginning of the game, you determine the first player, whoever you're going to determine, rock, paper, scissors, flip a coin, whatever you want to do. And the first player is going to, there's a deck of the pilots for the mechs, and there is a deck of mechs that are mechs. Alright, so the first person is going to go ahead and look through this deck, and they're going to pick a pilot. And then the other person is going to look through both of these decks. They're going to pick a pilot and a mech, and then the first person then gets to pick their mech. So each pilot, obviously has a name, and then they have a special ability, just something that they can do to break the rules. So, like, Hagar here, for a cost of 2 charge, which I'll explain charge here in just a little bit. Those are those cards over there that you can see. For a cost of 2 charge, he can use his Vengeance ability. He can strike with the top card of his discard pile. Instead of discarding it, you shuffle it back into your deck. And so, just a way to break the rules. And that probably means nothing to you right now, but as I explain how the game is played, that'll make more sense. Here with Chromia, for 2 charge, attrition, once per turn, reshuffle 3 cards from your discard pile back into your deck and draw a card. Okay, so I like games with variable player powers and things that just break the rules, and so you can go ahead and pick one. So let's just take Chromia. That's kind of a cool power. You can just reshuffle those cards back into your deck. That's always a good ability. Then the other player, I'm just going to randomly say they took that, and they took that as their mech. And now we get to pick a mech that goes with. And so then the mechs have hit points. That's how much damage they can take before they're destroyed. And then they have a description of like some special thing that they have. Whenever your incendiary strike destroys an equipment, you gain a charge. Incendiary, I should mention, is any like a red weapon, if you will. Or here we have the XTE Farseer, hit points of 25. Whenever you attack with an equipment slot containing a quantum equipment, once again this color, you gain a charge. And the Hammer Fist Class A, whenever you use a tectonic strike, you gain a charge. I like this hit points 27, so let's take that guy. So we're going to go ahead and take that one. And so you're going to take your 2 cards, you're going to have your pilot over here, your mech over there, and then you're going to take one of these decks, and we'll just take that one right there. Alright, so now we put these charge cards. Those will be just collected when you gain them. Obviously, as you notice, that you can gain a charge by using the special ability of your mech. Also, if you don't take any actions on your turn, when it is your turn, you have the ability to either attack with one of your weapons, or play a card to either strike with it or equip it. Those are your 2 actions, and you can do both of those on your turn. If you choose to do neither of those things, you can gain a charge, which is over here. Now, charges, as you know, as I've shown you, they are used to use the power of your pilot, but they're also used to collect these cards here. These cores, these shards here. So the cost of them is over here. And then they give a special power as well. So at the beginning of your turn, your mech repairs 1 health. So that's kind of a cool little ability or whatever. So you're going to take 5 of these. I'm just going to take 5 at random here. And we're just going to put those in the middle here, so everybody can see what we have. Alright, there we go. So then you have the 5 of these that are out there that you are able to collect. And the whole premise of the game is that both you and your opponent have entered into this quadrant of space to collect these, but then you've seen that your opponent is there, and you're trying to race to collect these cards or destroy them, so you can collect them all for yourself. Now, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to take this deck of cards. You're going to draw 8 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right. And so with those 8 cards, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to equip our mech here. Let me get rid of these other pilot cards there. All right, awesome. And you do that by selecting 2 cards that you'll be placing face down right here and here, and 2 cards you'll be playing face down here and here. Now, why are they face down? It's so you can just hide what they have, and you can reveal them on your turn. Also, when your cards get attacked, because your opponents will be attacking both your weapons and your armor that you have, they get revealed at that time. Also, one of the cool things is, let's see if I got lucky and drew one. Of course, I probably wouldn't. Yeah, there we go. Awesome. Last card. It's a trap. So, it's a trap! So, when you have cards that have this trap signal on there, and you have them face down, you are able to then, and somebody attacks it, it triggers the trap power. So in this case, it says draw 2 cards and equip them as armor. So, and then each one of these cards has these 2 abilities. This is their, like if they're a weapon ability, this is a strength power of 2, and this is its defense ability, defense of 5. They also have this ability here, and this is considered their strike ability. And so if you use them as a strike, you enact the little power that they have on this. Some of these, like you can see, this has a 0 attack, so like the strike wouldn't do any damage to the other player. And when you use a card as a strike, you do discard it. But in this case, a strike, search your deck for a tectonic card and put it into your hand. So you search it for this color. This is what tectonic is, and you put it into your hand if you want to use it as a strike. This card would just do an attack of 3 to somebody if you wanted to. Now, normally you can only make 1 attack per round, but I'll explain how that can change if you want to spend a charge on that. But I'll explain that in just a second. So you'll have to kind of search through your cards, and you'll have to find which ones you want to use as far as which ones are defensive and which ones are not. And so you probably because of the fact this is a trap card, you want to put that face down. And you can kind of put one on behind, like so. And then, gosh, I didn't really get any really good attack cards. That's not bad. An attack of 3. And so, and it's actually, well, it's a trap card too. I totally missed that. So this one is a trap that says that negate all damage that triggered this trap. Deal that damage to any mech instead. Well, I'm not using that as an attack. I'm going to use that as my trap card and put that one there. So now I need 2 attack cards. Well, here's a good attack. It's got just pretty straightforward, just an attack of 4, but that's still a pretty good attack card. So we're going to put that one face down like so. Let's see what else we got here. Let's see what this is. So it says 3 plus X, and it says X equals the number of cores you control. So you're like, these are the cores that are out here. So I could actually, if I can get some cores, this would actually be a pretty good weapon. And also pretty good armor as well. But I'm going to use it as a weapon. So you go ahead and you place that down there. Now, your opponent's going to do the exact same thing, and then you'll have this as your starting hand of cards. Now, after your opponent's get set up, you'd be ready to start your first game of Outchasers. On your turn, the first thing you will do is you will collect the first card off the top of your deck, and then you will move forward to taking your actions if you're going to take any. Now, obviously, this is the first round, so we probably want to attack the other player. And so remember, we can attack with a slot, and this is considered a slot, and this is considered a slot. And we can also play a card to either equip it or to use it as a strike card. So if we want to, you can actually equip a card with another weapon to kind of double up on the damage. So if we want, first thing we're going to do is, because we're going to do an attack anyway, let's just reveal a card. So we turn this card over, we reveal it. It's got an attack of 4. Now let's see what kind of card we could play. Well, and you can play any card, It doesn't have to be a red card that goes with that. But we got this one. This is awesome. So it's like, and it says when you equip this card, I get to draw a card as well. So that's actually pretty amazing. So what we'll do is we will equip these 2 cards on top of each other like so, and so then we can combine that attack that we could use on our opponent. But when we equipped it, like we just did, we're going to go ahead and draw a card. Now here's the thing. Cards that have just been played, unfortunately, don't count. Like you can't use them right away. But I can attack, even though these have been combined, I can attack with this level 4. And so then my attack is that, and I don't have the other player set up, so I apologize for that. But what happens is when you attack, you have the option of attacking any of your opponent's equipment, either their weapons, either their armor, or if they don't have any armor, that protecting them, you can then attack their mech directly. So, and there's no dice or anything like that. Combat is completely and totally deterministic. You just make an attack on, like, say I was going to attack with this card with attack value of 4, and like let's say I'm gonna attack one of my opponent's armor cards, and they had it face down. He would then be forced to flip it over. We look at this card, and it has an armor of 4. And I could then destroy that card because of that attack, and then he'd have to discard that card. That's completely it. If there's any overrun damage, and you have cards stacked up, like if I had an attack, like let's say, for example, that's a really good one. So let's actually say like my opponent had that set up, and I attacked with this large amount right here with this attack of 10, and he had this set up as an armor. Well, that has a complete the total armor of 12. So the 10 would destroy this card, and it would do 2 points of damage. And you can use whatever tokens you want. I just have these glass beads that I use. It would do 2 more damage that you put on that particular card to show that it has been attacked. Now, the thing is that on that player's turn, when they go, they're going to be able to repair their equipment. Repairing mechs, you have to have some sort of special ability or a card that allows you to do it. Like that core, remember I showed you that like you would heal it 1 every turn. But equipment heals up to full at the end of the other player's turn. They can just go ahead and remove all the damage that they've taken. So I would need to figure out a way to attack this again if I wanted to do more damage. And the way you do that is you can use, well, like if you hadn't done an equip, you could use one of your cards that has a strike ability, like, use this card has a strike of 3, which would cause you to discard the card, but you could do that and then you do the extra damage to that. Or if you have charges that you've completed, you can spend a charge on your ability to attack with a second weapon. So we have this second weapon. It has an attack of 3. If we had a charge, we could turn in a charge card that we'd earned earlier, turn that in, and you could use that to attack with the second weapon. So that's an option as well. So, and then hopefully, then you destroy that. So then after you're done with your turn, the other person will go. They'll do the exact same thing they did. They're going to play a card either as a strike or to equip, and then they're going to attack with one of their cards, or they can choose not to if they want to try to get a charge card or what have you, and they're going to go through the process. This is kind of a seesaw battle type of thing where you're trying to get the right cards in your hand that have these different abilities and different powers, collect these cores that have different powers that'll aid you, and you're trying to basically, take as little damage as possible while doing as much damage as possible to the opponent. The fun of the game comes in the interchange of the different cards. It's the fact that when you equip cards, you can put them face down. You can, like, people might not want to attack you, even though they have to because of the traps that you have set up. It's fun because of the fact that you have your combinations of both your mech powers, your pilot powers, and the different powers in the cards and the cores and all those things, and you can find those cool little synergies and abilities that match up well and then create nice little strategies. And that's where, as I talked earlier about when you're drafting, after you've played this game a couple of times, there is that drafting ability where then you can kind of build your deck, go through the process of creating what you think would possibly be like the best combination, the best build for yourself to have the best chance at winning the game. It's a lot of fun. The artwork is super cool. It plays super quick. It isn't a game that has 7,000 different little symbols or anything like that. It is very straightforward. The rules are pretty much written right there on the cards. It is super intuitive, and the theme is very engaging, and this is a game that I fully admit I play this with my daughter very many times, and she is a really, really good Pokemon player, and she felt that this was a little bit easier than Pokemon, probably because of her and it helps obviously that she's been playing that game a lot, and she soundly defeated me time and time again. I think I'm 2-8 versus her against this game, but that's awesome. I love the fact that she's really good at this. So, but there you go. That's Outchasers. Let me give you my final thoughts, which I'll do right now. There we go. That is Outchasers, and that is how you play. As I said, I really like the theme. I really like the art. I like the whole variability of it. I like the whole building the mech. I always like things where I can build things, and put cards together and do different things. And like I said, put those synergies together. Put those actions together that kind of chain really well, and kind of allow you to use your own creativity and use your own ingenuity, if you will, to kind of put cards together in combinations that maybe somebody else hadn't thought of before. And I enjoy that aspect of this game a great deal. I mean, I guess theoretically it didn't have to be about mechs. It could have been about tanks. It could have been about dirigibles. It could have been about spaceships. It could have whatever, fighter jets, rockets. Submarines. Stop me. But the fact that it is that kind of futuristic mech warrior world adds something for me. As I said, I am a big player of mech warrior and BattleTech back in the day. I still, when I go to a local convention, there's a big BattleTech tournament. I still enter that and do horribly. But I just don't have time. I don't have, with everything else that I do now, I don't really have time to devote to that game anymore. And so if I can play a game that has, like I said, a little condensed version of it, I can kind of relive that past glory or whatever that I had. And so it doesn't hurt that this game is super slick. It's super easy to teach, but it has all that depth, that replayability that I look for in a game like this. I don't want to play a game like this, and after 2-3 times, I'm like, well, I'm done. You know, because of the fact that you have all these different cards, because of the fact that you could just randomly spew them out to each person, because of the fact that you can go through the drafting process and put your deck together, you know, it adds all those different layers, that peeling of the onion that I look for in a fun little battle card game like this. And it doesn't hurt that my daughter really likes it, and I know as soon as I know this video, she's going to take this and go put it on her game shelf in her room, and then make me play it and beat me every weekend. So there you go. That is Outchasers. It's a lot of fun. If you dig the theme and if you like those, like I said, those 1 versus 1 battle card games, I would strongly suggest you take a look at this one. So if you have any questions about it, please ask Will. I'll be happy to answer those to the best of my ability. Thank you very much for taking the time to watch this video. And until next time, I am the Undead Viking. I'm telling you to have yourself one heck of an awesome day. All right, bye-bye.